6'8", prematurely bald, didn't know he was going to make it, always the underdog, ends up soaring the absolute heights and retires as his country's top scorer. Hello, and welcome to Reminding You Why You Love Football. It's me, Owen Blackhurst, back from a week's sabbatical writing the cover feature for the next issue of Mundial that goes to print tomorrow, over the weekend, Monday. We've had some new reviews in my absence. This is from Rob Scott, 1982. Timeless, it starts. Just as you can pick up a chat with a true friend, even after not seeing them for months or years, this podcast does for moments in football you thought were long forgotten. Brought to life as if they happened only last week. So instead of only doing it once or twice a year, how about a weekly dose? It's effortlessly funny. There's a lot of effort goes into it, mate. Sentimental and life-affirming. All these qualities shone through a lens of good old-fashioned piss-taking. Just like all of your best conversations with your lifelong friends.
Oh, that's pretty.
Thank you, Rob Scott, 1982. That is a lovely review, and hopefully that review was done before last week's episode, so hopefully you weren't as disgusted as me with the ice hockey chat. When I was listening to it, and I listened as a fan, I didn't have time to listen and I messaged Birdo and said, was he on about fucking ice hockey? And he went, yeah, madness. Well, and I hadn't got to the denouement at that point. The day this episode is released is on February the 29th, which not only is that Rare Diseases Day, which I will not be using in any way, shape or form to talk about my co-host, because Seb or Tommy would laugh at something outrageous. Here he is.
Already laughing. You haven't even said anything.
But it's also a leap year. And you know what that means, don't you? It means that the Euros are always held in a leap year, something I did not know until I put two and two together the other day. And you know what else that means, don't you?
That's good.
You know what else that means?
Go on.
Absolutely fuck all. Times of behaviour. It's a man-made construct to keep us all in check.
Yeah.
But what it does mean is that I can do this and compare my colleagues to Euros mascots, past and present.
Yeah. Oh.
Across from me, the Ursine, Tommy Albert Stewart, the Euro 24 biscuit-headed bear. Next to him, it's Seb, Goliath's the name, Britpop's the game, White from Euro 96.
Yes!
Of course. What else?
And next to me, flip-flapping and rainbow flicking about, it's James Skillsy Bird, the fuckwit from Euro 2020. I'm Bird. Skillsy.
Skillsy,
He's really,
Was he?
We did a lot about it looking like Birdo at the time, yeah. And I'm Bernie the Bunny from Euro 88 because he's the best one. Anyway, he's the best one.
Yeah.
Pair of Adidas on, ears, black shirt, Euro 88 across the front.
Really good.
Yeah.
Great logo on it. Yes, yeah.
This is
good.
Reminding You Why You Love Football, a 5-star monster of a podcast with 40-odd timeless episodes to listen to. We're part of the Acast Creator Network, part of all sorts these days. Seb's got into a cult.
Which one's
What
this?
is it?
Eh?
Which one's this?
The Cult of Owen.
Hamrich. The cult of Hamrich. Those of you who don't know, and it didn't seem Seb seemed not to want to talk about it last week. Seb's beloved and a club I've been trying to get him to give up on for about 4 years, I must say.
Really?
Yes.
Recently, the new owners have decided to outwardly be not calling it Hampton and Richmond anymore, or lovingly as known as the Beavers. They're calling them Hamrich.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hamrich.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Who do you support, mate? Hamrich.
No.
And then-
Rich.
and then-
Just rich in there.
It sounds like some sort of West London wanking cult.
I'm in! Finally a name. I've been looking for a name for it.
And it sounds like ham. And it sounds like ham sandwich.
We have been trying to think of a name for our West London wanking call, haven't we, Seb?
West London wanking. It's ridiculous, but...
Is it the Wrexhamification of non-league football?
Oh.
I don't even think it's that. People do want to see behind the curtain.
Always.
We also speak to a lot of potential partners about long-form documentaries in our wider role in where we work. It's like a few years ago when you kept seeing let's do a last dance in creative decks and go, no, you can't do a last dance because you don't have Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, or 10 years of archive footage. So let's park that and come up with another idea. No, we're just calling it the last dance as an umbrella term. Yeah, but you're not going to... It's the same now. Where's the Wrexhams? There isn't any. They're fucking one of the oldest clubs in the world, and they've got a perfect storm. There's not going to be another one. You are not going to be able to take over fucking dickhead Rovers and turn them into the next Wrexham. Just fucking leave it. Come up with something else.
What is your knowledge of Doncaster City's behaviour at the moment? Do you know much about that?
No.
Doncaster City?
No.
I've been to Doncaster.
Doncaster City have...
I didn't even know there was
I've been many a time to Doncaster.
They've signed Ross McCormack, Wesley Houlihan.
No.
Is it like Lashins or something like that?
They've started to sign all the
Like
sort of
Billericay
championship heroes of yesteryear.
Doncaster, I've had some great times in Doncaster.
I've had a good night out there, but this lad was...
Doing what?
Watching football and then drinking after the great games.
Watching the Oval.
We won the league at
What do you
Doncaster.
mean, doing what? What else is he going to be doing in Doncaster?
To be fair, Doncaster's quite good racing, but yeah.
You've been to York, Seb?
Yes.
What for?
Football.
Exactly. You've been... Chester?
Football.
Yeah.
First, but I have been as a tourist.
Stoke?
Never been to Stoke. It's
Not even Alton Towers?
Not as a...
You'd love to tick it off the list,
That's
though,
not
wouldn't you?
Stoke, is it?
Pretty much.
Well, it is, but it's
Just good as.
Basically, if Seb's been
Newcastle.
somewhere, he's been for football.
Yeah. It's a good point, actually.
But which is better than James casually asking me the other day if he should pop down to West Kent for a day out because he liked the woods where I was walking the dog.
Oh, no, it did look lovely.
Yeah, but there's loads of good places to go in the UK.
It was more
Don't come to where I live.
It was more the steam train.
And the steam... come on, no, it was a steam
It was more
train.
The Seb train.
The big Seb. The big Seb.
For those of you who don't
We should put that up
follow
on
me
the-
on social
Please.
media, for a long time, anything I saw which was tall or big or old, I would take a picture of and put on my Instagram story and say, all right, Seb. But I hadn't done it for a bit, and I saw this steam train. I nearly fucking fell over getting my phone out of my pocket. Nearly dropped it in the mud. Like the dogs were looking at me. There was people waiting to come past me down the path. Sorry, I'm just going to take a picture of this. Just got the video of it, and it started puffing perfectly.
Oh, it's a great video.
All right, Seb.
All right, Seb. Just slowly goes across the screen.
Sebby!
Here he is.
Seb!
That's very funny.
Should we get on with the show?
Yes.
Off we go. Adventures in Clubland. Adventures in Clubland. It is me, and we are talking about, and this sort of sprung from something I heard James say on last week's podcast about that lawless bandit era of the late 80s and early noughties. About this, like, sort of the turn of the century and early millennium, and it's just slightly different. But I just went, I'll go and have a look. So I went and had a look at 2006 World Cup top scorers. And I went down the list and went down the list and went down the list. And there popped out a name I hadn't thought about for a long time. It's that big fucking monster, Jan Koller. Now, the headline info, and I'm so glad I had a bit of time to go a bit deeper into Jan Koller. But firstly, as you probably know, 6'8", big bald head, slab-chested, 55 goals for his country, big Jan. Memorably formed a great partnership with Milan Baroš at Euro 2004. Previous to Dortmund, he had been in Belgium 5 seasons, 3 years at Lokeren, 2 at Anderlecht, where he scored 110 goals in about 200 games. Belgian Golden Shoe, formed a big man, little man with Tomáš Rosický.
Oh.
Yeah, he took off. He took off in Belgium, and then Matthias Sammer, one of the greatest sweepers to play the game before his career was cruelly cut short by knee injuries, signed him in his spell as Dortmund manager to play as the spearhead in a front three with Tomáš Rosický, his Czech teammate,
Yes.
and Márcio Amoroso, who had scored a lot of goals this season. Now,
He looks brilliant in that Dortmund kit, Rosický.
they all do.
Oh, yeah.
Koller looks great. Now, we'll get the numbers out of the way first. By the time he left in 2006, he'd played 182 games, scored 79 goals, and assisted 31 others. But they, as ever, do not tell the story. So you could go and watch a lot of his goals and see a lot of headers, but you've also got to have a look around the edges from that, because he was quick for a big man, or quick for anyone, actually. He could move. Jan Koller could move. And he did all the things you'd expect him to do well. He acted as the focal point. He let skillful players buzz off around him. But his first competitive goal for Dortmund is a 25-yard free kick against Wolfsburg. Bends it, bottom corner. First season there, they win the league.
Right.
And the only season they win the league while he's there. And he makes decisive contributions that see him remain a legend today. They were 5 points behind Leverkusen going into the final two games.
Wow, what was
And
then?
in the penultimate game of the season, they beat Hamburg 4-3, and Big Jan Koller scored the winner. So there's your instant hero status. And then he scored again on the last day of the season, and they won the league. And then they went to the UEFA Cup Final, where they lost to Feyenoord, and who Van Hooijdonk scored a great free kick for in that final. But Jan Koller's goal in that final, he takes it down on the edge of the box on his chest. And as he takes it down, he pushes it past the defender and hits this fucking volley top corner. If anyone thinks he's just a big man, you've just got to watch this. I was in the spare bedroom at my mum's house. I'd moved back into a surgery.
What a chest.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Crikey.
So there's some other famous headline stuff for his time there. So that was...
Wow.
It's a great goal, isn't it?
He deceives the defender kind of with his chest touch, doesn't he?
yeah.
The first
he's
touch.
fucking gigantic.
brilliant.
He is. He's like fucking Machamp
One more.
from Pokemon.
Machamp.
Well, he's the same height as Peter Crouch, but it's like someone has got one of those turkey basters women used to use for artificial insemination, filled it with muscle and fat, and,
One of those ones.
and pumped it into his body and made him a fucking grok.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you in a minute where his fucking hench comes from.
Oh.
Well, it's natural, obviously,
Yeah.
but there is a reason why. But
Rocks.
a few more highlights. The season after, he famously, because he was a goalie when he was a kid, and he said he was a good goalie, but he didn't like catching, found it boring, which I think means he was shit at it. But used to punch a lot. But he'd already scored against Bayern, and then they lost the game because they were 2-1 down, I think, when he went in goal. But for the remainder of the game, he kept a clean sheet. And occasionally now, when he plays for the Dortmund Legends team, he goes in goal as well. He plays up front and goes in goal.
Class.
Still turns out there's...
It's me on a Thursday night, that.
Like, we've talked about this before, but if anyone knows anything about Dortmund, and he had 5 seasons there and won the league, you'll understand why there's not a Dortmund fan really, apart from people who have been drawn to the club in recent years who aren't from there, who would pick like a Haaland above Jan Koller. Like Jan Koller is back on the pitch getting fucking...
Yeah.
Like the whole crowd singing about him. But it was a great squad when he was there. Jürgen Kohler was still there, stuff like that, and Lars Ricken, etc., etc. So it was great. But they beat that Leverkusen bridesmaids team. Immer der Brautfinger is in German, always the bridesmaid. And I know that because we had an article.
We did. Good
called
article.
that in the league. Anyway, but then I started looking a bit more and thinking, I remember some of these goals, and I remember him playing against Liverpool, and I remember Jan Koller. So then I read this long interview with Jan Koller, and I learned loads of stuff I didn't know. And it starts by him talking about his size 15, big as a ship shoe, which they had to custom make specifically for me.
Big as a ship is fucking great.
Yeah.
Not from Shoe Zone, then.
No, but that was no, definitely not the shoe zone. But listen to this. So when Jan Koller was 20, he had no idea that he was going to make a living from football. 20.
Wow.
After finishing his apprenticeship, he joined a collective farm back home in Smetanova Hlota as a technician. I drove the tractors in overalls, and although I didn't enjoy it, I thought that was my direction once my military service had ended. Didn't really make it playing for the military teams either, and I would eventually find another job, and although I liked it in the countryside, my eyes were set on Prague. And when he was like 14, 15, playing amateur football, he was going out on the piss and puking on the side of the pitch and drinking with the older players and stuff like that. And he never really thought he was going to make it. And but basically, everywhere he went, he had to prove himself. He finally got to Sparta Prague, but they looked at him as like, he'll never make it. And it was just through graft and graft. But then he got to the first team at Sparta. It never really happened for him, and he had to go to Belgium to make his name. And at first, when he was with the national team, he didn't think some of the players took him seriously. And later in his career, Pavel Nedvěd apologised to him and said, I didn't. And
wow.
Look, and Koller says, listen to this. He said, because it's a young country, Czech Republic, right?
Yeah, of course.
During my football career, I've had a lot of team and individual successes, moving farewells in Belgium and Dortmund, beautiful matches, goals. But for myself, the best of the best will always be the memories and feeling of the group that gradually formed on the national team. No title or award can match that.
Wow.
91 games, 55 goals. Czech's top scorer. Then he also said something about football that really made me love him even more. It's that when I see fathers out of their minds today, pushing their sons at any cost somewhere beyond their football and human abilities, it never ceases to amaze me. I had the exact opposite. I loved football in its purest form. I played it anywhere and any time. Even during my time in Dortmund, I went home and played in the local league in Prague with my mates.
Oh, what a man.
To a lot of today's boys, it seems to me as if football is forbidden for them outside of training or something. And yes, James, we will be doing a piece on Young Colour for the next issue of the magazine for the Euros issue. Absolutely.
How could you sense that was what I was thinking? Then?
Because you were looking going, I didn't know this. I didn't know this. That'd be great. I want to go. You want to go to ride a tractor with him in his village? I know you. I know you well enough, because so do I. And like, I'll put the link up. I've got goosebumps again about it. I mean, look, you can find the goals on YouTube, and they're all there, and you can go and see the reception he gets when he goes back, and he still plays for Dortmund Legends, and there's great videos of them in Ghana or them playing Liverpool and stuff like that. But I thought that from a player I knew not a lot about beyond his goals and who he'd played for, I didn't know he'd started in. I remember him at Dortmund, and then I remember him playing for Czech. That was it, really.
Yeah.
I consider I know a fair amount about football, but
Yes.
reading that, it just made me like, what a fucking legend. And now, then when you go back and view all the other stuff, the way his teammates are with him in every clip you see, the way his teammates talk about him in every clip you see, the way the fans react to him, you understand that he's a fucking great bloke who just loves football. So, like,
you were excited for this, and you've you've more than lived up to it.
It's nice. I was excited for it because it's nice.
It's lovely.
It's easy to come up with players off the top of your head who you know and love and think, I'll just talk about X player because I know it's a good one, and then go and do it. But it's even better when you get a surprising one. Like I could we'll probably do Romario at PSV at one point, but everyone, there's loads of great goals. But this, I just thought, fucking hell, what a great thing. And an unlikely, big, mad, 6'8", prematurely bald, didn't know he was going to make it, always the underdog, ends up soaring the absolute heights and retires as his country's top scorer. What a fucking career that is. 55, like people like don't forget. Like Alan Shearer only scored 30 goals for England.
Yeah,
and I think often we put a lot on the top scorer in England, but there's a lot of countries where players steam past that 50 mark. Not to that denigration.
And European countries who would have played similar tough opposition.
Well, exactly.
Especially around then.
No, I thought but that whole piece of his, and I reckon it's about 2,000-3,000 words long, first person. The links in the thing there, if you want to go and read it.
You touched on it briefly, but one of my favourite international match ever. I remember because I was really ill and watched it with my mum and brother in bed. I would have been 14. That Netherlands Czech Republic match, and I think he assisted Baroš, didn't he, for the winner?
Yeah,
and that strike partnership.
But he was much more than flick-ons and back to goal.
And to be honest, until you read all that, until I saw some of those goals, I didn't necessarily know that.
I just loves football.
I think what all this is maybe there's not enough respect on the big man's name.
I think there is.
The big men.
No, there is. Because I ended up on Reddit last night. There's people called Koller the Goat and things like that.
I mean the big men generally.
Yes.
The big men up top.
Yeah, maybe. But I also think Koller. I think people would look back and say, Big Jan Koller. And then because we've talked about it before, both are true. The accepted narrative becomes, he's a big man. But no. To anyone, I would love to talk to Dortmund fans and Czech fans about Jan Koller.
Yeah,
you've got to.
Maybe we will.
There's another thing. There's another thing about the big men here that's interesting to me is that the coming into the professional game late and being unsure as to whether he's going to make it and having another job. Stefan Maierhofer, who was a Wolves big man that we got in when we got promoted to the Premier League.
I bet Mick was excited about him, wasn't he?
It was a big Mick signing.
Was it?
Yeah. I think he only played 9 times. He scored 1 goal for us actually. Stefan Maierhofer.
Beryl, I found this lad.
Austrian, gigantic.
Legs like oaks.
Yeah. The first time I saw him coming onto the pitch, me and my brother were just like, he doesn't look real.
Yeah.
Any,
but he also worked as a chef for ages up until he was like 18, 19, 20, and then got his chance. So I wonder if that's something that is consistent amongst the big men.
Tell you what, this when you said 6'8", it instantly reminded me of the tallest player I've ever seen play football, which is Carl Hudlin. He's 6'8".
Which is you.
Yeah, it's Carl Hudlin, 6'8", at the playoff final, National League playoff final, playing for Solihull. And I have never seen a team so focused in using their one weapon essentially. And he was good, and Solihull were in pretty much control against Grimsby for a good 50 minutes. Get the ball up to him, get the flick-ons, pacey wingers and stuff like this. And he scored 1, and then he just ran out of steam. He comes up, he'd been injured as well. He just comes off, and the whole game plan, because it had been so rooted through him, changed completely, and Grimsby go and score 2 and win the playoff final.
As someone who's tall, were you tall as a kid as well? Like,
No, you've seen little Sebby Toxvig.
That's true.
I would literally
when
went from the smallest person in the classroom to like...
Right. But when you were playing...
It took 3 days.
Yeah.
When you were playing football, were you always put either at centre-back or up top?
Well...
Because of being the big man?
Since I've become bigger, yeah, it's quite an easy thing. And but I did play in goal when I was really small.
Oh, interesting.
Weirdly.
Okay.
And you can't header the ball.
I'm
can you?
terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
Seb, no.
No.
Scared?
No.
Worst
That's not very good.
I'd say worst
Sorry.
part of his game.
Yeah.
Really?
He's one of them big blokes, 6'4", jumps like he's 5'6".
Yeah, Guilty, Your Honour.
There we go. Young Koller.
Well done, Aaron.
Respect on the name.
That's really good.
Mundial joins the dots for football culture. And that's not a boast by us, but the words of an actual subscriber in our most recent readers' survey. Why not see what they're on about and have a look at Mundial magazine? 100 pages of global football magic, released 4 times a year. It looks great, smells great, and the writing isn't bad either. Go to mundialmag.com or follow the link in the show description to find out more.
Yeah.
Right then, this is midfield blunt rotation, and Seb and Tommy have just told me and James beforehand we're going to do something a little bit different here. So this could mean anything. They could act it out. This is midfield blunt rotation, and Seb, Tommy, take it away.
This week on midfield blunt rotation, despite what Owen said about constructs of time, we are going to use time as a device to... So back on this day...
Have you built a DeLorean?
Yeah, back in this day, on the day of this... Back in the day...
We've made a time machine out of Dulwich Hamlet.
Are you going to read a line each, like you've done a little poem in?
Maybe.
The school
Oh,
show.
we tried it. It didn't work.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you do that, it'll be a 2-person podcast pretty quickly.
Pretty quickly.
And by 2, I mean me and Ed.
Oh,
You'd like that.
on the day that this podcast is released, back in 2004...
20 years ago today.
20... Of course, yeah. Sorry, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. Twat. 20 years ago today, the League Cup final was between Bolton and Middlesbrough.
Oh, baby.
And I think we've mentioned the Bolton midfield before in various discussions. And I was like, well, that's obviously one for the blunt rotation chat. But then I looked at the Middlesbrough team.
Should we take them through it?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Middlesbrough, and then we're going to talk about Bolton, and then we're going to decide who's dream, who's blunt.
Who's dream, who's nightmare?
Today I'm going to speak...
You're representing
I'm
Middlesbrough.
representing Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
And the first name on that team sheet is Gaizka Mendieta. And he... Let's just get a sense, if you don't know who he is. He's playing for Middlesbrough in a League Cup final, but a couple of seasons before this, he has been the best midfielder in Europe for 2 seasons in a row, according to UEFA. Now, of course, this is all a little bit subjective, but he took them to 2 Champions League finals, so Valencia.
Won a La Liga.
So he's obviously fucking pretty good.
Yeah.
And he ends up at Middlesbrough, which, again, I love the fact that Middlesbrough just go and buy these players that you might seen in more, shall we say, exotic locations.
Yes.
But they go to Middlesbrough and they fucking love it and have a great time. You know, Ravanelli, I know, was only there for a season. Juninho, of course, you know, everyone knows about him. But Mendieta has a fucking great time there.
A DJ as well, isn't
And a
he?
DJ
Very
now.
successful DJ.
Yeah.
these days. Yeah.
Well,
Cool.
I am going to sit here now. So
Didn't
looking at what he's done since he's finished his career. And again, I think his career is quite Mundial in that he has a great fucking spell at Valencia. Then he pops up at like
he just started,
Barcelona,
by the looks of it, he just started
Lazio.
going out on the piss.
Yeah.
Or if not the piss, enjoying himself.
Enjoying himself
Right,
and enjoying life. And he now has a string of restaurants. He's got a paella restaurant in London that's really meant to be very, very good. He's got a chain of restaurants with other people. He DJs. He has, and he
puts on indie nights at the Shackwell Arms.
He
no
does?
less.
No, he doesn't.
He
Yes,
has
he does.
done, yeah.
Does
He has
he?
done,
Yeah.
He sounds like he's got the sort of life Pep Guardiola thinks he's got when, when he was slagging off that journalist the other week.
Exactly.
The fucking weapon. Anyway,
Big cycle. He goes to
Mendieta, I'm in.
alongside him in the centre of midfield. George Boateng,
Yay! There we go.
who joins Middlesbrough. He was very nearly went to Liverpool. Very nearly went to Liverpool, but joins Middlesbrough. So again, talking about how quality of the player. But my favourite thing about George Boateng from this is he said before the final, we were so revved up, we could have killed a lion. We could have each killed a lion.
Oh,
This is
one
how-
each?
Yeah, this is how revved up we were. And do you want to know why they were revved up?
11 lions.
Because in the pre-match meeting, Steve McLaren had played them a clip from Any Given Sunday.
Fantastic.
Go on,
The
Steve.
speech.
Yeah.
Seb, who else has Steve McLaren drafted into this?
I can't imagine this next cunt's hunting any fucking lions.
Doriva.
I saw him play.
Yeah, Doriva, who we've
Fucking sea lion.
mentioned on the pod before because he's assistant manager to Silvino at Albania. They're very much the calm man. And
Oh God, we have a laugh on this, don't we?
Yeah.
Hey.
But again, a decent player. Sampdoria had paid $6 million for him a couple of seasons before. So again, a decent player. But I think that for me, my favourite player in this midfield, and he also, I'm not just saying that because he becomes man of the match and he scores the winner in the final, is Zenden.
Our old mate Seb.
We've mentioned him again on the podcast before, but I just want to say,
Boudewijn
Zenden, gold black belt judoist.
what a lovely bloke he was. But I'm not just saying this, but his line of clubs goes Barcelona, Chelsea,
Boom.
Middlesbrough,
Yep.
Liverpool, Marseille.
That's not bad.
That's fucking, the kids
Tom
say,
Bolo
put
Zenden.
some flowers on their name, but we should put some tulips on his name.
Just edit that out, Tom. It's
But no, a genuinely
It's staying in because of that.
He's a man of the match in the final. He scores the winner.
He is
for me,
sensational
he's
in
the
this
best
final.
player in that midfield. And for me, I think all of them, for different reasons.
questionable Barnet as well. Zenden.
Him and Mendieta.
Mendieta's is awful. You know, in Kingpin, when Bill Murray's just getting bigger and bigger.
Yes.
That's a bit like me at the moment. That's
And they never mention it, but every time the camera goes across, it's fucking huge. Mendieta's Barnet's a bit like that at this point in his career.
Yeah.
Should we go through Sam Allardyce's Bolton?
Oh, yeah.
We're Bolton, we're balmy, we're on the piss tonight. We're Bolton, we're balmy, we're on the piss
How
tonight.
far away are they?
I have an advantage, or you could see it as a disadvantage in this blunt rotation, blunt off, in that I have a 5-man midfield versus your 4-man. Let's start with Youri Djorkaeff. Nicknamed the Snake because he could bend past defenders and bend the ball, apparently. Number 6, pretty much always number 6 throughout his career, which I always thought was very cool for a man in his position. I like it when players kind of have a number that doesn't necessarily suit their position. Obviously, probably past his peak, much like Mendieta, much like maybe not Zenden. Zenden was still very good, and he was very good in that final from rewatching it. He does miss a couple of chances in this game, Djorkaeff, that I think maybe, I don't know, did you think rewatching it that a few years ago he might have put them away?
Well, you know what Seb thinks, don't you?
What?
That the kids nowadays, they talk about putting flowers on his name. Well, he wants to give Djorkaeff some fucking tulips. Don't he?
The kids.
He did say the kids.
Sorry,
The kids. I scored one of Djorkaeff's greatest ever goals. I scored almost identical one. Admittedly, it wasn't.
Which one? Because I watched his top 20
Admittedly,
yesterday.
it wasn't in Serie A. Mine. It was against Telford Jacks in an under-18 game on a Sunday morning.
Not bad, mate.
The one where it bounces up and he overheads it from the angle there.
Oh, yeah, it's nice.
My man was there.
You've spoken about this goal.
I've spoken about it before because
yes.
he instead of giving me any credit for that, he talked about the two
The one
easier
you
ones
missed,
I'd missed.
yeah.
But I had the picture in my mind to be able to try it because of Youri Djorkaeff.
In fact, we've got a little surprise now. Dave Blackhurst on the phone, everybody.
Don't know what you're on about.
Thanks, Dave.
We are in Worfield, live and uncut with Dave Blackhurst.
Live from Marijuana Mansions. Right, and next we've got Kevin Nolan, a young Nolan. He's learning from some of the best. I was telling Seb before this, for about half an hour when I was doing my research yesterday, I was watching Kevin Davis and reading about Kevin Davis because as a child, as a teenager, I would
But
get
also
those
plays
two.
in this game.
He does, yes.
He's up front for
I used to
Bolton
get
in
these
this
two
game.
mixed up a lot. He nearly played for the Netherlands. Did you know that?
No, this is mental.
He got asked by the Dutch FA if he would play for them, and then apparently it was like one too far removed, but it was during that mid-2000s era, so he would have played with the likes of David, the likes of Seedorf, Van Nistelrooy. Next, JJ Okocha, so good they named him twice, to quote Soccer AM. He was one of my favourite players growing up, one of my heroes. Always a joy to watch. We replicated his skills every fucking week, every day. When you'd see him on Saturday or you'd see him on Match of the Day, what he'd do. What else is there to say that Asad Raza hasn't already said
Well, he
about
also-
Well, I'll tell you what you can say.
Go on.
Sorry. That he wasn't named twice, was he? I've always had a problem with this. His name's not JJ. So that's just a nickname. So he's so nice. They gave him a nickname. Yeah, it doesn't quite drip off the tongue, does it? So nice, they gave him a nickname with two names in it.
For
Yeah, his name's not JJ. First name's Augustine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Augustine, brackets JJ Okocha.
But it was cool at the time.
For what it's
I
worth.
know, it is cool. I love him. I watched the clip of him rinsing Man United over and over again.
And
Him making Roy Keane. No, just the Man United. Sorry. him making...
specific video.
I just watched him making Roy Keane chase shadows. Anyway, sorry, James.
No, for what it's worth, JJ Okocha has the hearty accolade of the best performance I've ever seen at the Molineux.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
And you've seen a
you've
few.
seen some players.
I've seen some fantastic players.
Bloody hell.
Go around the Molineux any day of the week. Fine.
But he was fucking untouchable in a game against Wolves.
He is. We all love him.
Next up, we've got Iván Campo,
He never looked like a
a
footballer.
2-time Champions League winner.
Who would play
it's
Iván
not-
Campo in the story of this game? It would be Javier Bardem, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Or Screech Powers.
Or Alan Davis.
He's dead.
Well, not I've seen that. Oh, Alan Davis.
Alan
Sorry, that's much better. Let's move. Yeah,
Screech is dead.
I
Seb.
forgot he was.
Tell you what.
Dustin Diamond died of
Dustin.
cancer.
He said, though...
You put a Real Madrid shirt on Alan
Davis.
and tell him
I think that's a shout.
he's playing DM for the night.
Yeah, mate. I had a good game. Yeah. In this team, he said, in that team, anyone could play well. The dressing room didn't understand names. The star was the team. Radi Jaidi said Sam Allardyce was a genius at man management. A genius. Like, if you missed a team night out, Allardyce wouldn't even go on these team nights out, as you might think. But if you miss one, you'd be fined. But then he was like, it was a good thing because you regretted it. Him and Okocha didn't go to a team night out. Then they went to the next one. They're like, this is the best fucking team nights out ever. So that midfield, that team were just very bonded. And then
No pints of wine.
No.
he was having them back home. With this particular
Not the
team,
pints of wine.
during
Look,
this particular
it was
time-
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, the Bolton.
And then we've got...
Watching Arsenal go and get turned over by Bolton was as good as it got for a few years.
And that's when Okocha did the rainbow flick on the byline.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable. And then we've got Per Franston, 2 spells at Bolton, been with them through the lows, been in the what would have been the old First Division at the time. And this is his final season at Bolton. He played 9 more matches for Wigan, I believe. And to me, he looks like a combo of Dolph Lundgren and Quentin Tarantino.
Strong look.
His face is 50% of each of those faces.
Yeah.
A strong look.
Yeah.
He's a good. Decent
I liked
player
him.
as well.
I liked him. So there you go. That's the Bolton midfield.
I have wanted to, for absolutely ages, do a proper sort of audio doc about just this game, because I don't think there's ever been 2 more sort of like disparate and mad and cult midfields playing against each other in British football. Like, you've got McLaren and Allardyce, like, it's just perfect.
It is. There's
Oh,
so
there's a
many
lot going
ingredients.
on.
played-
There's an
Well,
awful
for the-
lot
for the
going on.
benefit of the listeners.
It's also played at the Millennium Stadium, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Like,
is.
it's just the most cult, then it will have been on ITV, I'm sure.
Schwarzer, Mills, Ehiog, rest in
Oh.
peace, Gareth Southgate, Frank Kadru, Mendieta, Boateng, Doriva, Zenden, Juninho, Joseph Desiree, Job, Jaskalainen, Hunt, and Yachty. God, Emerson Tomei,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody
Fuck me.
hell.
Nicky
Bruno
Hunt's in
Ingotti.
there, isn't he?
Oh,
Nicky Hunt right back,
I know
Charlton,
off by heart.
Charlton,
I know
Fucking-
Franson, Campo, Okocha, Nolan, Djorkaeff, and then Kevin Davis up front.
Davis, yeah.
What?
So,
What a
what are
cast
we
of
thinking?
characters.
This is what I'm saying.
No, it isn't.
Both 11s, not just the midfields.
Nightmare and Blunt. I mean, James, it's down to you and me, but
Yeah.
then it's going to have to be Ed for the casting vote, I think. So,
I like that.
James, Djorkaeff, Nolan, Okocha, Campo, Franson. Blunt or Nightmare?
Fucking
No, Nightmare or Dream?
Dream, man. Dream.
Yeah.
I'd love to chill with those people.
Nolan.
Yeah, just
I think
fucking
he'd
let
be-
him yap on.
Yeah.
See, this is.
I've had a lot of splits with a lot of Skies.
Yolan is tempered by Djorkaeff, who was brought out of his shell by.
I don't want to talk about UFOs with Kevin Nolan.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind
Offer
of
you- trying to
do.
offer
I
you some
kind
half-
of do.
I don't want fucking
No.
Iván Campo eating all the charcuterie before I get to it.
He is
Trying to
lovely.
say some half-priced CBD gums or something.
Per Franson though, Per Franson might be into like saunas and naked cold
Yeah.
dips.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Dream.
Yeah.
Dream.
So he's a dream. So that's a dream.
Borough.
Gaizka Mendieta,
Dream.
George Boateng, Doriva, and Bolo Zenden.
They might be a bit full of themselves, this lot.
No, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
They might be
Oh, I'm upset.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
full
no.
of themselves.
Mendieta, shirt down to
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Real continent.
Like Blair on holiday.
Some real
Dancing
continental flair.
like Al Pacino in Scarface when he's trying to get with Michelle Pfeiffer. Up to the way, oh.
you know when you there's like when you go to the pub or on holiday and there's that group of like 5 French lads.
Oh, yeah,
they've
like-
all got Oxford shirts on.
Yes.
An extra button done
Ralphie's.
down.
Yeah.
Spitting, pictures of their mums in their wallets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fucking hell.
It's a bit.
She is not my girlfriend, she is my mother. How could anyone compare to my
It's
mother?
a little bit international school for me.
I thought it was a shoe-in.
Oh, I was
James-
very confident.
James thinks they're like all the boys Matilda fancied at school.
Yes!
That's what it is. Oh my God.
Biased.
Fucking Doriva strutting through. He's been back to Brazil over the
lovely
summer,
fella.
and
So,
come back looking fucking hot. Been on fucking Copacabana all fucking summer, hasn't he?
Dad's got a boat.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Dad's got a boat.
My dad's got mental problems.
She uses the bathwater to clean his car.
Yeah.
I agree and think they're a nightmare.
yes.
Oh, Borough.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is 101 Things to Do in Football Before You Die with James Bird, who's got a new haircut and looks lovely.
Thank you. All right, so my thing to do in Football Before You Die is very simply to watch a match before breakfast.
Yes.
So I'm going to sling through 3 examples.
Can
here.
only be done at certain times, though. It's not like you can do it every day.
This is what I'd like to talk about. It does take special.
But your dad does have like Cocoa Pops for dinner, so maybe it's always breakfast.
Do you know what my dad had at 10:30 in the morning yesterday? Liver, bacon, and onions that he cooked last Thursday.
Been in the fridge for a week.
Fucking incredible.
No.
Yeah.
What? Is he okay?
What? Oh,
Seb, I've seen some of this shit you shovel down. You.
Seb.
No.
Seb.
Yeah, I know. I have.
Seb, my dad's not okay.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to buzz through 3 examples here. The most famous of those is England versus Brazil, 2002 World Cup, and I wrote about that very recently in our subscriber newsletter, The Hat Trick. You know, a lot of things felt special about that. Turn of the millennium, the visual identity of that World Cup, the fact that you've got 2 golden generation teams coming up against each other, and it kicks off at 7:30 in the morning. So, we had...
I was in the international halls at Edgehill University.
See, this is my thing. There's this. I compared it in the piece to a solar eclipse because everyone sort of remembers where they were at a solar eclipse. During a solar eclipse, the birds start singing at a different time. People are sort of looking up at the sky and thinking differently.
Well,
as I walked to my friends that morning to watch that game, Purton, where I'm from, felt weird. Like,
More weird.
More weird.
Yeah,
Purton, where I'm from.
Yeah.
Purton, where I'm from, felt more weird. And that's what. When things happen at a different time to when they usually happen, it stays in your memory.
Yeah.
It feels different. The second example of these is recently in Austin, where I watched Arsenal play at, I think kickoff was at sort of 8 in the morning or whatever.
I was bloody there.
You were there with the Austin Gooners, and there's like fucking 75 of them. I don't know, 750 of them.
Loads.
And
Wow.
they were fucking plastered.
Were they?
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
What time have
Good
they
bunch.
got? Have
The
they
bar-
got
the
their
bar
own
opens
powered
at 6
through?
a.m.
Oh,
Does
they-
it?
Yeah.
They got there at 6.
And they were serving tacos and stuff, but just again,
Great. It was great.
again,
Yeah.
mad people doing a mad thing at a mad
Good
time.
people.
And then the last sort of example of this is 2018. I went to Australia to profile Australian fans of Premier League clubs.
Yeah.
And if you think about what an Australian Burnley fan who lives in the middle of nowhere on the Gold Coast.
I'm
is
sorry,
like-
that United fan was the worst.
Oh, bless him, man.
With all the tattoos on his legs.
Yeah, he
Alex Ferguson on
It's
his
a
arse.
great series.
He
Jesus
he
Christ.
he uttered the brilliant line, "Girlfriends come and go, but Manchester United are forever." We filmed him having a shower.
Give me your number, bro.
To be
Yeah.
To be fair, you've
I
got
could do
that.
with a friend.
You did film him in the shower.
Or
That was
a
a
boyfriend.
cheek.
You've got that as a tattoo, haven't you?
Filmed him in the shower. Yeah.
Something like that.
My favourite.
He's got Ferguson on his leg.
It's a very different experience, though, isn't it? Watching it that early, it
And-
feels your body clock is so again.
It's like something me and James were talking about this morning, in that it's the unique experience of being a cricket fan is rolling over in the morning and turning the radio on to find out England
Yes.
are fucked
Yeah.
Yeah.
yet again. It's the closest it gets to that with football
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you don't
yeah.
expect it. Normally, by the time a football match kicks off, you had a chance to fucking get your wits about you. I once walked across San
Yeah.
Francisco at like 5 a.m. to go to a Chelsea pub to watch Liverpool lose to Chelsea. It was one of the worst mornings. I mean, it ruined the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
ruined
think-
the day.
I went to go to Alcatraz
gonna-
later, and I had to really pretend to be into it.
You're right. I didn't think about that. It is the life of a cricket fan.
It is.
I've done that since uni. Like,
2 o'clock start on Boxing Day.
Yeah, in uni, I watched it on my laptop on dodgy streams, and used to I was almost embarrassed about it. Like, no one else in the house was watching.
You get it with boxing, boxing occasionally with big fights, but less and less. But football, you're right, because people are. The thing is, people refuse to not do the normal match day rituals, despite the fact it's 5 a.m. None of those blokes wanted to be drinking at 5.
No, but they can't not.
Now they've got to go back and fire up their leaf blowers and fucking.
I think to be briefly romantic about it.
Yeah.
To be briefly romantic about it, there's that idea of a collectivism around it.
There is.
So when that England game, to go back to it again, I was only 12, but I remember it's one of my real formative memories. But it was that idea that across the country and across the world, everyone's sort of getting up at the same time to do a thing. Well,
it's the shared thing of, and it's again, we talked about it with the cricket. It's that it also helps in that tournaments are on terrestrial TV, so everyone's bought in.
Yeah.
There's 15, 20 million people watching it, there's people gone into school early, so there's 40 people watching it in a reception and things like that. So it binds everyone together in a way that no sport really does anymore. The World Cups and Euros and Olympics, they're the only ones really.
Yeah. Well,
because everyone's watching it.
Well, the one thing that sort of, because I watched quite a lot of that 2002 World Cup, getting up early with my dad and watching it before school, and the one thing that set a precedent for that was 2 years before the Sydney Olympics in 2000.
Yes.
Me and my dad would get up early for that, and I remember getting up with him to watch Cathy Freeman win the 400 metres.
Was this when he tried to train you to be a pole vaulter down in the back garden?
What?
Oh, Seb.
I didn't know this. Genuinely did not know this.
Well, it didn't happen, did it? You're joking.
I'm 5'10", Seb. I'm not going to be a pole vaulter. 101 things to do in football before you die. Watch a match before breakfast.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Love that, really James.
Can't wait to do more of it. 2026, baby. Introducing The Hat-Trick, a new subscriber newsletter from Mundial. Each week, there'll be 3 stories linked by a theme. Stories from islands, stories about people, stories about heroes, stories about villains, stories about love, hope, despair, joy, and, of course, goals. Go to mundialmag.com to sign up to The Hat-Trick now. Ins and outs, outs and ins. Tommy Stewart.
Mine is the movie The Iron Claw, which is about the wrestling brothers from the 80s. It is featuring...
the Von Erich family.
Yes.
The Texas Tornado and all that.
You know the story, right? Ish. Very dark story, but I've seen a lot of the Oscar bait films or the Oscar-nominated films lately, and that one stands out. I've never been in a cinema where every fucking, genuinely the whole cinema is in tears, but it's not that sort of, it's not trying to make you cry. It's, it's genuine real life tragedy, and it's brilliantly told.
I don't try to make you cry, but you do all the time.
I'm an emotional man, but it's, Zac Efron is quite good, but Jeremy Allen White steals the show for me. He's
Texas Tornado, isn't he, Kerry?
He is, yes.
And he's going out with Rosalia.
So I would recommend anyone watching it. It's just a great film.
Iron Claw, in. Seb.
Socially Distant Sports Bar recently made it to episode 200.
Big up, boys.
We know them and we've got to know them over that time since they've been doing the podcast. But to do 200 episodes over 4 years during COVID, during all the different things that have happened, is incredible. And I've listened to every single one, and they are brilliant. And I would say if you haven't listened to them, you've got a lot of fun to look forward to.
I would agree. I mean, I'll slip in a very quick, they're not going to shag you, mate.
Yeah.
Although Bubbins might, if he's had too many pints of brains after the rugby.
Yeah.
But what I love about it most, it's given me immeasurable laughs, especially in the dark days, but always whenever I listen to it. Very funny, very nice, kind 3 people.
Yes.
All in different ways. But more than anything, it's the independent spirit that started it and that has allowed it to continue. And they've worked at it, and it's done wonders for all of their career in different ways. It's just shown that get an idea, stick to your guns, keep doing it, and it'll grow. And I think I just I take my hat off to him. Brilliant.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well said,
In. James Bird.
Just going the long way round, not always taking a shortcut.
Oh.
I wish you'd take a shortcut. Just every now and again.
Just a couple of times. Yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah.
couple.
Rather than fucking beelining from the tube back to the front door, the quickest route.
I don't do that, mate.
Just have a little fucking wander.
James?
Yeah.
Take a left rather than a right.
In the words of Alex Turner.
Well, this is where I was going. I didn't want to sing it, but
Go on, sing it. Yeah, let him go the long way round.
Ian, mine are vivid dreams brought on by new CBD.
Oh.
So after taking the same one for a while, I decided I wanted some oil instead. I wanted to knock it up a little bit. Did my research, and I have a new.
As you do.
I have a new. I have a new CBD oil, which I take probably a couple of hours before I go to sleep, and it's great. Good for inflammation and pain. Great for sleep. But fucking hellfire, I've had some dreams.
Good.
do you take it with Kevin Nolan, Youri Djorkaeff, JJ Okocha, and
Even Campo.
Dreams,
that's me done. That's the callback. And that's why I'm in this podcast, I think. That kind of thing.
dreams as in mad dreams as in like completely bonkers situations, or
No, just very vivid. I
Oh,
mean,
vivid.
some haven't been that enjoyable, but
No,
on
no.
balance,
Tell it. Give us one good one.
Have the aliens been opening
can you
the
never
door?
quite remember dreams properly though? Can you?
I can remember all of these.
Some I
Can you?
But I've just had some really vivid ones, and a lot with people I haven't seen for a long time. Like there's
Oh,
been,
Really?
If the aliens open the door for you, don't walk through it.
I wouldn't. Imagine how pissed off they'd get with me.
Yeah.
Take him back. Take him
Very
back.
good point.
Take him back. He seems to have got on his hands and knees, and he's asking for the pro.
This
Is that goose grease? Outs. James Bird.
Oh yeah. Footballs that pump too hard.
Out. Shit. Fucking
Oh.
out. Always out.
Awful.
Always out.
Oh.
Make you look a worse footballer.
Can't kick
and
it
and
properly,
it shows
can't
you how
head it.
good pros are
Yeah,
because they play
'cause
with
they're
balls that
fucking
hard
rock solid.
all the time.
Can't kick it properly. Can't
That
head
is
it
a shout.
properly.
But they're often cheap balls.
It hurts
Because
Yes.
the proper pro balls, even when they're pumped really hard, they've got that much good cushion underneath that you don't
Yes.
get
They
it.
still have
Hurts
some
you.
give, don't they?
I noticed that when
The
I trained
FIFA
with
Pro
Hampton.
Bowl.
once.
Makes a horrible noise, hurts your arse.
hurts the
Yeah,
roof.
yeah, yeah.
Hurts the roof of your feet. If you have to take one on your thigh, it slaps against it rather than cushions. Nicely.
And then when
Roof of your feet.
and
Yeah,
Is that a thing?
roof of your feet. Roof of your feet.
No, but it makes sense.
Tops of your
I know
feet.
what you meant.
Roof tops.
I felt it when you said it.
Tommy.
My out is turning 34 because I feel like
fucking hell,
it's,
my
it's-
heart bleeds.
it's officially mid-30s. I was early 30s, now I'm mid-30s. I don't want to celebrate it. It was the other day, you know.
Is your life better now than when you were 24?
100%.
That's what you're moaning about.
yeah, exactly.
Embrace it, brother.
It's just...
Every year older I get, I
I'll be
enjoy
honest,
life
Owen,
more.
I agree. I'll be honest, but dating, you know, it just
Do
feels
you?
a bit old.
Well, look,
Every
Oh,
year.
don't worry about that
You enjoy
shit.
life more.
I do.
I am. My 30s was shit.
Huh.
Met you lot.
Yeah.
The last
No.
3
No,
years.
30s were hard. 20s were just, they're a frenzy.
Yeah.
30s, you're like fucking trying to find your way and trying to do stuff
Trying to
and
be
making
an
wrong
adult.
turns and like, well, not, but just all stuff's kicking off.
Yeah.
And I've just really enjoyed getting older.
20s was the hardest for me, and 30s has been,
When did the years start getting better one by one?
2-3 years ago.
yeah, same. 3 years ago.
Coincidentally, when I stopped drinking.
Yeah, same here.
But
I'm not-
loads of other stuff as well.
I'm not moaning. It's just a bit.
34.
No, more, and not just drinking, but just taking control, like cutting toxic people out of my life, things like that.
Yes. Yeah. Which, Owen, I think that's something you do when you stop drinking as well.
Yeah.
I-
When it's family members and things like that, and you've got to be bold and just go, you know what, you're not good for me, out. So, yeah, out. They're all out. Tommy, I'm going to give it you as out, even though I think you should be flipping it the
Yeah.
other way and enjoying it. Yeah, difficult. Seb.
My out is my social ineptitude hitting my wallet. We've been making a regular visit to the Algerian coffee shop round the corner.
I'm
from
not
the office.
comfortable with you talking about this.
Okay, what, you don't want people to know about it?
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
No, it's all right. None of them are in London anyway.
What, you
No,
think,
no.
You think we'll be accosted in there?
No, I think
No.
that. So basically, where we work in Soho is
Yeah,
like
I've been there.
coffee expensive central,
Yeah.
and you can spend too much, and it's not always that good. And you've had your fucking oat milk flat white, you've drank it by the time you're back at the office. It hasn't done anything. Algerian coffee stores on Old Compton Street, one of the last vestiges of old Soho, I would say.
I see why. Right.
Yeah.
But you go in there and it's a bit carnage.
Yeah.
There's fucking coffee everywhere, and they've got like they do some amazing chocolates and all this stuff in there. But they bang out double espressos of their house blend coffee for £1.50.
It's great.
Oh,
It's
doubles.
Well, it's insane. And even a flat white's £2. But the reason I'm putting it in out, I'm not putting that in outs, is because I feel there's quite a few posters saying, please, if you can, play by cash. It's quite nice,
Yeah, but they've never turned the card down.
No, they never have. But I always think, I can't pay for 2 double espressos for £3,
But you can.
Well, I can.
You're a
but-
sheep, aren't you? Sheeple.
so I shit myself and then go, well, I'll have to get some chocolate or something. And because it's all like really nice, posh, high-end chocolate.
Spend £7
I
on
end up
it.
spending £7-8, the same amount of money I would have spent on 2 coffees.
Because you're nice.
Because I'm like...
£7 on a Persian Milky Way.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah. And like, I even get this chocolate that I just don't actually quite like, but I feel like I should buy something because I can't just go, £3 with the card, please, sir. Thank you.
I got no shame. I'll go in there, double espresso, 150. Cheers, boss.
Did you? You haven't?
Yeah.
150?
Yes.
That's wonderful. Oh, you are different. Yeah, yeah.
We you've got to just roll with the times.
No,
we live in a cashless
but
society.
this is why I'm putting it out. It's me thinking about it. I shouldn't be thinking about it.
No.
It's a wonderful place. It's a real throwback, a real bastion.
So that's out, which, as is my next place, and this place probably would have made it into the old Soho because that was before there was food health laws. So I'm putting bad gluten in, but this week it reared its ugly head. James Bird suggested where we should go for lunch, and we went to Laksa on Old Compton Street. I had a beef rendang, Seb had a beef rendang, James had a Laksa, and the rendang was fine, but we ordered some fried chicken. And I've been doing elimination tests with gluten, right? Anyway, we had this fried chicken. Fuck me, I don't know if it was cheap gluten, dirty oil they'd fried them in, or whatever. But my arse, honestly. But I was in pain. My stomach was in fucking pain. Like, woke up in the middle of the night and everything. My missus walked into the living room yesterday, and it's got quite a high ceiling, our living
So
room.
they're
She
doing
went,
exorcism.
no, she went, fucking hell, what? Has something happened with the drains? The drains blocked.
Oh my God.
You'll have to have a look at the weekend. And I went, oh, that's not the drain.
It's not the drains, it's me.
I had some bad gluten today.
It was nice, but I will echo.
Seb, look, mate, I fucking love you a lot, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But you have got honestly, I reckon you've got one taste bud.
That is a horrible, horrible thing to say.
No, he enjoys his food.
I do. No, I know what he means.
Seb,
Simple.
don't let him say that. That is a terrible.
No,
that is
what I was
going to
say was I've had some.
No, I'm not saying he's got no taste.
No.
It's taste, mate.
Literally,
He's only got.
he's got a single taste bud.
One.
This is my taste,
Hey,
mate.
that hits the spot. Literally
bud.
the spot.
Yeah.
The one spot of taste. I was gonna say
Seb, I don't think.
I've had a similar familiarity with the toilet over the last couple of days post that. Even though it was really fucking nice.
Have you?
Yeah,
We talk about our stomachs so much.
The rendang was great. I thought the rendang was really nice. Bit fatty, but good.
Is it out?
This has been reminding you why you love gluten.
Yeah.
Good gluten.
You're a part of Big Gluten, aren't you? You're a bloody shill for Big Gluten.
Yeah.
Fucking Seb sleeps in a big duvet. Looks like a baguette. Folds himself every night. Just gets in
with his one taste bud.
Because the pillow's different colours, so it's the lettuce and everything.
Just opens up the big baguette. And just gets in.
Pink pyjamas like the ham.
Night, Seb. Night, Rebecca.
I'm just getting into my baguette.
Oh no, it's got a bit wet at the end.
Can you call me ham boy? Rebecca dresses the cheese.
He's gone.
Sebastian Hovis White.
Please share, review.
Thank you.
And rate. Thank you to Ed in the control booth. Thank you to Spiritland. This has been Remind You Why You Love Football. Mundial, we've always got issues live. Please subscribe, do what you need to do. Goodbye.
Got a lot of issues.
Reminding You Why You Love Football is a Mundial and Football co-production. Produced by Tommy Stewart and Seb White, hosted by me, Owen Blackhurst, and recorded on the run.